Let me know if you all can hear me. I think that I had forgotten to make it to where my audio came through, because streaming only allows one track of audio. So let me know if you all can hear me now. But no, I'm not. I was talking. You couldn't hear me. But hello, everyone. If you can hear me now, welcome to the stream. I think I have it working, but you all let me know in the chat. Sweet. It is confirmed. Air can be heard across the vastness of the internet. No doubt, with my voice being heard over the internet, much woe will befall all who hear it. I did spare you all the ugly mug cam tonight. I didn't have time to set up my green screen. So, is this better now? We can at least hear me talking, right? Sweet. All right, well, hey, welcome everybody. I'm not expecting a huge group tonight for a few reasons, but one, because I haven't streamed in forever, and two, we haven't had huge groups of viewers recently anyway. I don't know if it's just like, it could be a number of things, and I don't take it as an insult one way or the other. It could be low interest in me, which is understandable. I do have the world's ugliest mug. It could also just be lower interest in Total War right now, which could be a thing too. Or I've been on the internet since like probably before the internet was invented, and people might just be tired of me and have moved on to other things, which also is okay. I don't hold that against anybody, but regardless of the size, it's been too long since I streamed, and I have been wanting to stream for a long time. So, we are going to be starting tonight. I'm actually going to switch over to this other screen where you all can see the fullness of Total War Pharaoh. We are going to be streaming from Total War Pharaoh tonight. I do need to go grab my water and make one quick pickup, and then I will be back in just a few moments. So if anybody's joining, let them know. I'll be back in just a minute, and we'll get things started, okay? Okay, I am ready to go. I hope you're ready to go. So, Total War Pharaoh released today. And I'm sure that a lot of people, well, I say a lot of people, at least maybe one person, might want to know, what I think of Total War Pharaoh. And the honest answer, for anybody who is wondering, is I don't know. I haven't gotten to play it enough to really leverage an overall thought on it, so I'm not gonna give you any final judgment. If you have played the game and you are looking for, and you want to share some feedback on what you've played so far, I would like to hear it. I did put a poll up on my channel yesterday, And I was curious to see what people think, and I realized after I put it up, no big surprise here, that I probably could have worded it better. I asked basically, as I play Total War Pharaoh, I haven't played it enough to make a final judgment, but one of the things that worries me as I play it is that I feel like, the embezzle failed. So, it's the last time you try and embezzle my funds, you jerk. Anyway, I feel like we need a little more influence to embezzle, huh? Oh, we can't do the plots on Shimsuhor. Let's go ahead and just continue gossiping. Anyway, I'm worried about replayability. Now, again, I haven't finished an entire campaign yet, so I'm not sure. And so I put the poll up on my channel over on the community tab, and the reason was essentially for me to get a feel on what you all think in terms of like the balance between replayability and realism. And it all stemmed from a comment that I had on a recent video where someone was I had been playing a battle where there was rain, and I had mentioned that I knew that there was like a Storm Warrior trait that was on some of our guys, and ultimately I thought Storm Warrior maybe gave some of our guys buffs whenever they were fighting in a storm, and then what I learned eventually was that it just reduced the penalty that they got while fighting in a storm, which is fine, right? I didn't fully understand it. Now, that said, that brought on a comment from someone because I was saying it would have been cool if they actually got a buff in the storm, and the comment basically came in and said, you know, hey, that ruins the realism if you do something like that. That wouldn't be realistic for someone to fight better in a storm, and if you ruin the realism, it ruins the immersion of the game. And that's fine. It's totally okay for this person to have that mindset. However, I found myself heavily disagreeing. I feel like that they should sacrifice realism in a lot of places in order to favor gameplay. Now, you should be looking for a balance, right, in a historical title. You want a nice balance of some realism. But to me, gameplay and replayability is everything when it comes to a game. Like, if the game isn't replayable, if a game isn't good, then all the realism in the world can't save it, because you'll never play it for more than an hour. You'll never pick it back up and play it a second time. And to me, like, Rome 2, for instance, is probably one of the most replayable historical titles, I think. And when I look at Rome 2, it was pretty replayable. But then, like, I think about how many hours I have spent in Total War Warhammer. I can still play Total War Warhammer, and it's fun. And there's still all kinds of combinations of lords and armies and factions that I haven't even, like, experienced yet in it. And they're all different. And usually they're pretty exciting and fun. And even some of the ones I've already played, so like, for instance, in our Archaon campaign, we did that big End Times Archaon campaign, and I could go play that again right now, and it would be very different than the last time we played it, because they've added new units, because they've added new mechanics to the game. There's just so much to be experienced there, and to me, that's what's lacking in the historical titles. And in Pharaoh, I want to give them some credit. They added a tremendous amount of campaign customization. They kept this multiple resource economy, which I think this fits very nicely in a historical title. They added stuff like, what did they call it? Legacies and ambitions. And honestly, the character development is not bad. I still think it's a little boring, but this isn't bad. This is improved character development. The ability to have these titles, the different competencies, the equipment, the ancillaries. This is all nice. This is a very nice improvement. It's not as exciting as Warhammer, but for a historical title, this is very nice. And then this game runs incredibly smooth in terms of like the frame rates. Like, this is the smoothest, like, most well-playing Total War game I've ever had, just from a technical perspective. And it looks quite beautiful as well. So anyway, all those things, I wanted to make sure and get some of those positives out there, because, again, I'm I'm worried about the overall replayability of the title, and I'm curious to see what you all find as you start to play it. Some of you will probably jump in and play the game farther and faster than I will because I'm somewhat limited on time. But yeah, and when I say I'm worried, I don't know yet. Like I said, I don't know. I want to know. But, so I put that poll up ultimately, coming back to it on my channel, to kind of get a feel from you all. Did he just... He just confederated those dudes, which I think was something someone told me that we could do. Yeah, he just came in, well... I think he just confederated them. I don't remember exactly what this was. It was someone mentioned it at some point. But yeah. So in any case, we'll see. I don't know why my cloud bot just moderated you, Jacob. Yeah, I don't know what it was. So I guess it's worried about if you type too long of a message. I'll have to adjust that at some point. I can't do it right this minute. But in any case, yeah, so that's just some of my initial thoughts around Pharaoh. That's weird. They came in, okay, vacant buildings, event messages. Did you all see that? They came up and it almost looked like they confederated these guys. Past war with Ankara, past treaties. Someone had mentioned that this was a special ability or something that we had, but I don't know how or where to use it from. Tenacity active. Anyway, we'll have to check it out.
Make it count.
We'll have to check it out at some point. So we're still getting siege equipment. I've got a couple of battering rams. We're gonna need some wall sapping stuff, so let's continue that siege there. I need to hurry though. But yeah, I want to read what some of you all were thinking as I get to it. But yeah, to me, the gameplay of a game and the way it wants to replay is everything in a Total War game. And I feel like that during Warhammer 2, CA kind of hit its peak. Now, I love the content in Warhammer 3, but I feel like the PR and the release schedule and the timing has gone to crap in Warhammer 3. I still like Warhammer 3. It's a great game. It's got good content, but I feel like the timing and the release and the messaging and everything they've done has just been quite unfortunate. But in any case, yeah. So I'm excited about this game. I definitely want to give it a chance. Looking back on it, I did not give Troy enough of a chance and spend some time in it, and I would like to spend some time on this game and get a feel for it. So it's definitely something that I want to accomplish. I want the military support buildings here, but I'm also going to need some other support buildings. Workforce growth, influence. Let's do the refugee center here. So I still have a lot to learn about this game. You know, it's going to take me a while. Ziplandia. There we go. Alright. Do some of that construction. We could construct some outposts, but I'm going to go ahead and end our turn here. Yeah, we'll see what happens. Like I said, there's a lot of things I like about this game. Some of my same old reservations about historical games are still there. But don't get me wrong. Did he just come and destroy? Oh no, that outpost still belonged to the other people. I was like, did he just come and destroy my outpost? And then I realized it still belongs to the other folks. But yeah. Anyway, it'd be neat. I would love to see them continue to pour some of the creativity that we have seen from Total War Warhammer into these historical titles. And like I said, there's a lot of good things that happened in this title in terms of improvements, many of which I mentioned a moment ago, that I think that CA Sophia deserves credit for, and that I hope we continue to see. But just from like a creative design standpoint, I feel like it can go a lot farther. in these historical games. And like, for instance, I look at the mod releases that have been coming out for Rome 2 recently, especially in those multiplayer battles. The creativity that the modders put together without even really changing the base game. They're just reusing assets and tweaking some stats and unit names and stuff like that. I mean, they did amazing work. Absolutely amazing work. So some of you are getting blocked by my cloud bot, so give me just a second. Let me see if I can pull up the bug. It's blocking you all for long messages, which is stupid. So give me just a second. I'll fix that. It shouldn't be blocking you for that kind of stuff. So let me get back over and adjust the moderator bot. I had to turn on the moderator bot because I doubt that I would have a moderator with me tonight, and so I turned it on just to make sure we didn't end up with any craziness. Link protection, paragraph protection. All right, paragraph protection is off. You can type me long messages now, so it should come through. So hopefully the bot will stop pestering you all with the long messages. There we go. Someone said, Ragnar says, I wonder if they will ever redo Alexander. That's an interesting conversation. We got the Troy, and to me, that would have been an interesting expansion that they could have done without doing like a full price game, right? They could have taken that same game with its, a lot of its graphical resources and stuff like that, and they could have made an Alexander game out of it and stuff too. Now that would have been really cool. I definitely would like to see Total War take better advantage of stuff like that. I feel like we used to get a fair number of expansions and stuff. And again, for a while there in Warhammer 2, I felt like the DLC pace was pretty good, the release schedule was pretty good, the content that was coming out was real solid. I feel like we had a good pace going, and they kind of blew it coming into this title. Again, I don't know, it may just be me, but that's what it felt like to me. I felt like they definitely had a good pace, and then it kind of just died off the way that it should have been. I'm going to take this, but yeah, an Alexander expansion using this particular engine and graphical assets would have been really cool. So, and if they are going to take the time to release these historical titles, which I want them to, I think it's good. They should have big releases, big titles like such as a hypothetical Medieval 3, right? Stuff like that. But they should also have, more minor releases too to kind of fill in the gaps. And I think that's where making sure that you've built a good game engine and stuff really comes into play. Because then you have all the assets to kind of easily make these expansions or sub-games or, however it is that you want to build and present them. I'll leave that up to the actual developers, of course, but I don't know how I really wanted to deploy all my troops. Or I want to put Suppiluliuma. Probably put him over here with the smaller group. There we go. Let's go ahead and start the battle. I'm going to have to attack from a couple different places. Legamus says OU. Yeah, big Red River win recently. Yeah. Have any of you all played Total War Pharaoh so far? So whether you're watching this live, whether you're watching this afterwards, make sure and let me know in the comments whether you've played Pharaoh, what you thought of Pharaoh, what's your thoughts on the state of Total War right now. What do you hope to see going forward, right? I'd be curious to hear people share some of their thoughts and stuff on it. There's a few things that I would like to see from Total War moving forward. I don't know whether we will. I think that they are in a really tough spot right now based on what we saw from the announcement with Hyenas being canceled, potential layoffs coming up at CA. I think it's a tough time for them, so we have no idea what's going to be in the near future. If I had my choice and I got to see them produce things, I would like to see a couple of things from CA. On the Total War front, I would like to see like an Empire 2, a Medieval 3, and then on the fantasy front, I think it'd be really cool to see a 40k Total War game. maybe it's not in the same genre, right? This type of turn-based campaign map and real-time battle map. Maybe 40K fits better into, like, say, a real-time strategy type of game. And I think CA could make a really good real-time strategy game. They did with Halo Wars 2. So those would be things that I would hope for. I feel like I want to see some big new standalone historical titles that blow us away, kind of like the old ones did. And I would also like to see, continued work on a fantasy side, and then if CA is going to take on different game genres, which I would like them to do and think they could do well, especially when I look back at like Alien Isolation, Halo Wars 2, CA is clearly good and capable at making other types of games. To me, Hyenas, though, was always just kind of a questionable thing. I was never excited for it. The game of first-person shooters, in my opinion, has been ruined. All of them are just a game with an aesthetic skin store. It's more of a store with a game built inside the store. So it's like a store with a game to try and get you to buy stuff out of it. And so the gameplay is gone. They're sacrificed. It's full of sweaty, like, full-time grinders. You can't get in and enjoy a first-person shooter anymore. In my opinion, they've been ruined. And so whenever Hyenas was announced, I was not excited because that's a very full genre. It's a genre that would be difficult to break into, and that, quite honestly, I think a lot of people are kind of burned out on. So that was really sad for me to hear them take that on, because to me it seemed like a waste of Creative Assembly's potential, and I'll never understand why a board approved such a thing. I hope the people in the company don't end up getting hurt by it. I know a lot of people who work there, and they work hard, and it wasn't their decision probably to go down these roads, or to cancel it even for that matter, so I hope the best for them. Any case, yeah, FPS is way oversaturated in the market, and I think that was just a poor decision. But we'll see what happens. That's what I would like to see in the future from Creative Assembly, would be a return to form on some classic Total War action, and then follow that up with some other cool games that I know CA would be capable of doing. Like I said, more real-time strategy games and stuff like it. We're gonna have to grind these guys out. It's not gonna be particularly easy. I didn't bring any extra siege equipment. Oh, these guys are gonna get hit with a lot of javelins. So I will say on here with siege battles, I really like the open field battles in this game. It's a lot like Troy. I really like the open field battles there. I really do not like the siege battles and the small settlement battles in this game. They're too grindy, and they take too long. But that's just been my opinion so far, and it was the same as my opinion in the previous game. So like, this battle is going to turn into a grind. I would have had to have made more siege equipment. It takes a really long time to build all the siege equipment. That just wastes a ton of time on the campaign map while you're making all the siege equipment, so then that wastes time, and then you get into the battle right here, and then it takes forever to move up to the walls. It takes forever to get your equipment in place, and then it takes forever for the units to beat each other down because you can't really outflank. And so I'm not a big fan of the siege battles. They're not very exciting. At least in Warhammer 2 and 3, when you're playing a siege battle, at least you had the option of like using magic and flyers and stuff to break the monotony of the siege battles, and I feel like here you just don't have that. Alright, where our guys got their butts handed to them here, and I'm not surprised, there's a lot of heavy units, so I'm gonna wait a second before I go in with any more troops over there. They're actually upset with friends routing right now anyway. All my troops are, but I'm gonna move in over here, and we're going to... I'm gonna get up on the walls and crush these skirmishers. And then that axe unit just came down off of the wall and is clogged. Yeah, see, everything gets clogged up. The pathfinding is really bad in these siege battles. Everything gets clogged up, and it just turns into an extremely slow grind. So I do not think the siege battles are very well designed, and they're certainly not a whole lot of fun here. So that's probably why you see me skip these most of the time. and I'm probably going to skip quite a few more. The siege battles are definitely better in Warhammer, which is kind of funny to say because no one has ever been thoroughly impressed by the siege battles in Warhammer. So definitely not the place that this game should probably want to be in terms of, you know, like my perception of it. But it is my perception of it nonetheless. Now, I do have someone in chat asking me, and again, this will go for folks who are watching live or who are watching afterwards. Someone's asking me, do I think they're capable of making good siege battles? I do. I do think that they're capable of making good siege battles. To me, the siege battle needs to not slow down the pace of the campaign, first of all. So it needs to stop taking so long to get ready for a siege battle on the campaign map. So, like, for instance, it'd be cool if your army could construct siege equipment that's kind of just with them, that they could use. I know some people are going to make the argument, well, that's not very realistic. When armies wheeled up to siege, they had to build all the siege equipment. I know. Again, this is a gameplay thing for me. This is not a realism thing. This is where I want gameplay to trump realism. So I do not want to spend 4, 5, 6, 7 turns on the campaign map building all the siege equipment so that I can then come to a battle and do that. So I think that it needs to be quicker, like in terms of getting into the siege battle and not slowing down the player's momentum and pace. And again, I know a lot of people are going to disagree with me here because they're going to say, well, Air, that's the point of siege. Sieges slow things down. That was why they did. I know. I get it. I understand, and no one may agree with me here, but that's just my take on it. I feel like siege battles on the campaign map ruin the pace of the game, and so that's why I don't like them. Oh, dang, this guy was outside the walls. We could have got him right there. That sucks. I should have been paying attention. But anyway, that's just me. So could they make a good siege battle? Yes. They need to work on pathfinding. They need to work on pacing a little bit. Like, maybe don't start me like 10 miles from the walls and then slowly watch the siege equipment roll up to the wall at a snail's pace. You know what I mean? You guys get where I'm coming from on that? So, I think that stuff like that would help the siege a lot. Alright, well, we killed one of their commanders, so that is helpful. And then we are in the process of dealing with these units over here as well. But yeah, they did add a few things in this game too, like the stances, the ability to go into like a hold or an advanced stance depending on the unit. That's cool. That was a nice addition. I think that's something that can help a lot for historical Total War games going forward. So again, I'm excited for that. That was a cool add. Definitely a cool add, and I'm here for it. Dang, man, those javelins all of a sudden started firing. I guess I got into range while I was trying to shoot at that other guy. Whoops. Let's go ahead and back up. There's some people in my live chat right now that are mentioning stuff like a combat engineer unit or something. It would be a good idea, like units that you could train into your army that would make the sieges maybe be ready or go faster. That would be cool. Again, I'm open to ideas. I'm not sure if I know the solution at the moment, but what I do know is that when I get into a siege, usually the pace of my game is ruined on the campaign map. Again, the siege battles in Warhammer are not bad for me. They're not amazing, but they're not bad. I think that they get the job done, and they're fun because you can use your magic in the tight quarters and get really good effect out of the magic and your heroes. But these games don't have that, and they're not supposed to. And so I feel like something's gotta be different in these games to make up for that. That's just my opinion. But again, I'd be curious to see what people think. Make sure that you get down in the comments if you're watching this after the stream. Let me know what you think. The people in the stream are definitely letting me, they're giving me some thoughts here. And if you're watching the stream live, you may be wondering if I'm not calling out a lot of names and stuff. It's because I'm trying to make a balancing act right now between talking to you all live and then also hopefully not annoying people who are watching this later with, you know, responding to every single comment or, you know, calling out every person's name or something like that. So do be patient with me. I'm trying to string together a balance here. Alright, I am going to have to get after it here and push some units in. But any case. There are a lot of people in my chat now, and probably some of you who will be in the comments later, who have mentioned a Lord of the Rings Total War, and that's certainly not the first time that that idea has been floated past me. And I've been asked before what I think of that. I would wonder whether Lord of the Rings has enough content to really support a big Total War game. Some people think it does, and they've told me, you know, you got like the Easterlings, you've got, you know, Gondor and Rohan and the different evil factions, you know, all that kind of stuff. So some people feel confident that it could support it, and that definitely could make the basis for a fun fantasy Total War, one that's beloved by a lot of people. So I would certainly have interest if such a game was ever made. I'm just not holding my breath that such a game will ever be made, if that makes any sense. I've got this advance stance. I'm going to try and use it to see if we can push forward with this heavier unit. And then I'm going to bring in more units to see if we can just push our weight around in here as well. And then I'm breaking through the enemy lines. Yeah, the whole Lord of the Rings thing, I think it would get the interest of a ton of people because that story is well beloved by a ton of people. I think the license would be really expensive and tricky to get. But I do think that it would be overwhelmingly popular if it were ever made and executed at a decent level, right? So as long as it got executed at a decent level, I think that it would be very popular. That a lot of people would enjoy it and want to play it. Yeah, so there's a lot of things that we may hope to see one day from Creative Assembly, but I think right now there's a lot of questions up in the air. Like, where's the company even at? Oh, look at these guys. See? This is a cool new ability. Look, I put the push ability on this heavy unit, and they can push through. Look at this. They're shoving their way in. This is really helpful. You can see them. They've been advancing. Look at that. I can continue to use their weight class to push through these lighter units. That is neat. That is a cool addition, and I wish this would have been in past Total War historical titles. That is good. So, well done there. Think how useful that would be with pikes. The ability to have pikes push into fights like that. So, man, that's cool. More stuff like that, please.
They die today.
But yeah. So, like I said, this game so far for me has had kind of a mix. I have some of the same worries that are out there for past historical titles, but some things are definitely improved and have been done better. So I don't know. Like I said, it's a mix for me so far, and I'm gonna let time tell. I'm gonna try not to get too much of a hurry. I'm gonna let time tell the story. I'm actually gonna push. I can't actually push this. We can only push forward. Interesting. If I turn this way, maybe try and cover their back. Oh no, wait, we got units over here too. We are short on units over here. I do have reinforcements coming. They're just a long ways off. Suppiluliuma and another sword unit's on the way. As far as other fantasy titles, folks in the chat now and elsewhere have mentioned stuff like Game of Thrones. I'm not very familiar with Game of Thrones at all because I didn't watch it, so I don't know exactly how it would fit together, but it does seem like a very popular IP, again, that could draw a lot of potential attention. What other things would you all have in mind? Again, good things to potentially take some time to comment on here, or if you're watching afterwards, would love to hear from you on that. But
upon our heads.
Let's see. So how's the siege go? See how long the siege battle takes? I know some people really like the idea of very long battles. Like that was kind of a thing, for instance, in like the DEI mods for Rome 2. I actually don't like the really long slugs. How do you all feel about that? What's the right balance of like speed and like not being too fast in battle? I think that the main like land battles in this game have a very nice pacing. siege battles are a little slow for me, and that's why I don't typically like them, but I do think the land battles have a good pacing. Like, the lines usually don't crumble immediately. You have to try and fit through gaps and work around the flanks. I'll tell you one thing that does feel like it's missing from the land battles in this game, and it is what it is. It's the Bronze Age. There's not a lot of cavalry, and to me that's one of the things that feels like it's missing is mobility. And some of the light units in this game are very fast, and they make up a little bit for the mobility, but I feel like just that access to the cavalry and stuff might be another thing that's a struggle for this game, just because, you know, it's something we're used to, but it's not here. From a historical standpoint, I think that Medieval 3 is probably the most wanted game amongst the Total War community. If I just had to take a guess, you know, like I don't have any official data on it. But I would also say that I think an Empire 2 or some kind of Victorian era thing would be extremely well received if executed properly. I think a lot of people would love the idea of CA taking on a more modern time frame, like World War I, World War II. Now, I do have to ask myself with those games, if you did go to World War I or II, again, maybe it's like that whole 40K idea. Maybe it's not a Total War styled game. Maybe CA still makes it, but maybe it's a different style of game, because the type of warfare they used in those conflicts may not fit Total War as it is. I don't know, but I am open to the idea, because those time frames, I think, for people who like studying military history and stuff, those time periods are very interesting and had a lot of fascinating battles, and a lot of people, I think, would enjoy content on them. We do have one unit left over here. The rest of them routed near the gates. I'm going to start funneling some reinforcements this way, because we might be about to get outnumbered. Some of these units are still routing. But yeah, see how long this takes? It takes a while. It takes a while. Some of the folks here are saying that the pacing in Rome 2 felt pretty good. And I'm trying to think. It was pretty good. I think the pacing in Warhammer could be fast sometimes, just because of some of the disparities between units, and then you throw on top of that like all the upgrades and the magic. You could end a fight really quickly with magic or certain upgrades or missile units. That just wasn't the case in something like Rome 2. So I can see where Rome 2 maybe feels like a nice middle ground in terms of pacing for a lot of people. To me, my favorite time period for any history game will always be the ancient time period, the Roman time period. I wouldn't mind if they just kept remaking that time period over and over and over and over again. It's the only one that you really need, in my opinion. However, there are certainly others that I would enjoy, like I said, such as like a, you know, another one in the Empire type era or that Victorian era. But yeah, for me, my favorite one is absolutely the ancient time period. So, but yeah, there could be interesting ways of CA maybe going to those newer age time periods. Maybe some creative ways of getting there. I don't know.
Turn back! I pray that Merrick stops this race.
Where did this... It says we're capturing that building, but I don't actually see... Oh, there it is. Yeah, we are capturing it. Okay. I'm working on some captures so that we can try and shut this down a little quicker, because it's taken a long time to finish. I can fast forward some of this at this point. You probably have to use fast forward quite a lot in a siege battle, to be honest. I forget about it sometimes because when I'm recording, I'm usually trying not to be pausing or fast forwarding or anything like that, but it does happen. Let's see, I've got more reinforcements coming. My guys got here a little early though, so they're fighting a little bit piecemeal over here. And we've got an enemy Kopesh bodyguard rolling up into play. I've got my chariots too, but the chariots are going to be horrible here. There's someone here in my my chat currently, and I'll bring this conversation up because I think it's a good one for those here and who are watching it later. That mentioned it'd be cool to see Creative Assembly somehow increase the size and scope of the battles. I have to admit, that's an intriguing idea. We're kind of used to the size of the battles that has been in Total War for a long time, and it hasn't really gotten massively bigger. We have gotten large battles, quote unquote, where you can get like up to 40 units for each army. So it did expand a little, but I think I get what you're saying, which is, you know, how could they maybe redesign or redo the games in a way that lends to what feels like larger, huge scale battles? That's an interesting question, and I would certainly be open to them trying to figure that out. I think that could take Total War to another level, depending on the situation. Absolutely could. Some people are saying that would probably require a new engine. Yeah, it's probably not wrong. So it very well might. A different engine that behaves differently, that can handle more resources. Maybe it handles it a different way. I don't know.
Speed and grace.
I don't know enough about game design to say it, but yeah, that could definitely be interesting to see Total War taken to a grander, maybe more epic scale. Would be interesting. One of my ideas for a historical Total War that would really fascinate me would be to do something like we saw with the Warhammer trilogy, except, in my opinion, rather than release it as 3 separate games, it would kind of be like one big game that gets several expansions. And it would be to basically make a game that starts in like the year 1600, and it has a certain piece of the globe, say like maybe Europe, and then they start to expand the game and add more starting points, and as they add more starting points, say later in history, it not only adds different types of units and adjust the campaign map accordingly to reflect starting in that time period, but it also unlocks more pieces of the globe, and as you buy those expansions, you can play as those factions in the new parts of the globe, and slowly you get like this Empire Total War type title that has different start periods, maybe like 1600, 1700, 1800, but it also ends up spanning the entire globe. And I mean, think about how like some of the cool stuff that could go into that, like trying to manage that global empire and how epic that could be. Like, so again, if CA spent a lot of time on a really good engine to handle that type of thing, a really good game that could last for 5 or 6 years, think about how neat that would be to have an epic historical Total War that gets supported for like more than 5 years with additional content and updates and stuff like that. I think that would be a lot of fun, and I think that would be very exciting for Total War. Again, that's a personal opinion. Some people may not agree, but I think that would be a lot of fun. So, I feel like Empire Total War kind of started to go that direction, in a way. But of course, eventually they kind of replaced it with Napoleon, because Empire was lacking in so many ways, like it wasn't ready. So I think this is a project that they would have to work on for a very long time before they released it, you know what I mean? Like, it would take a tremendous amount of preparation to get it ready, because it can't be something like Empire where it releases and it's kind of busted and it's going to take, you know, over a year to fix it. Like, they can't get to that point. So let's see. All right, so we've captured Ankara, Ankara, however you say that. Let's take a look at our victory objectives. We also have Power of the Crown here that I haven't really looked at. Unlock and upgrade your royal powers. Acquire more legitimacy to unlock powers. Now that sounds cool. So we get 200 legitimacy. We unlock powers. I like this. That's cool. So how much? We have 106 right now. So we're on our way to unlocking some of these cool new powers. I like that. Cool. Alright, we'll check that out. Maybe these are the powers people were talking about where you could like go in and confederate someone or something. I'll check that out. Let's take a look at our victory objectives here. We've got Hattusa, or Hat USA, of course, as we actually named it. And then Ziplandia and Korea. We don't own the entirety of it, but we are gaining some sway. And at this point, that completes a war for us. And I think we extincted that faction. So does that... I wonder if I did it in time to pick up the reward. Yes, we did. Sweet. So we picked up the 1,500 wood and stone that was part of our ambition for taking down that faction. So that was a huge reward that we needed right now. So there we go. Let's see here.
I will not let my kingdom be torn.
We have a lot of pending actions, so let's go and take a look. We have court actions available.
The 1,000 gods bear witness.
If you all know of cool ways to use and abuse the court that I haven't figured out yet, let me know about that as well. I would love to hear about it. To me, I've found a way, obviously, that you can abuse it to pick up like these embezzling things. You can only do it once a year, but like that's fun with the embezzle. Being able to make these rulings, quash rebellions. Like, so I've kind of learned. The plots I haven't messed with very much. It looks like it just helps you gain extra regard, but at the risk of losing some legitimacy. I think we have to have another commander. Let's upgrade the court presence power to have more positions. Okay. And then we'd have to have a commander sitting there, so we don't have anybody to occupy these positions. So I think for now I'm just going to keep getting influence on these guys. And then that way we can take advantage of it when we really badly need it. But I've got people asking me about the UI and how I like the UI. I saw a lot of negative comments about the UI from a lot of people prior to the game launch and now after. I don't see any issue with the UI. I actually kind of do think I like these 2D unit cards a little better. They're a little easier to distinguish. But yeah, I don't have any issues with the UI in the game. I think the UI has been good in the last several Total War games. So I don't know. I don't get bothered by that kind of stuff very easy. I'm not a very artistic person as far as my mindset, and so I don't think that type of thing impacts me much, nor do I notice it that much. So I'm not inclined to get bothered by the UI very easily. But yeah, so the UI is fine to me. I haven't had any issues with the UI. But again, curious what you all may think as well, because I'm not the only one who plays Total War. And sometimes I hear ideas from other folks, which is really nice to hear. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and end this turn here. Yeah, we'll see. What do we got here? So a call to arms. So our ally has started a war with the Deer faction here. It looks like they're off to my southeast. Yeah, off to my southeast, and that's my vassal who has gotten that war going. Okay. Alright, so we got a war on our southeastern border at the moment. And now we've got... Okay, so the faction who just took over here is now declaring war on me as well. So, well, we got 2 new wars. Rather large ones, I might add. To replace the one that we were fighting. Looks like the Pharaoh may kick the bucket here. Not that we really worry too much about the Pharaoh here, because we are the Hittites. And Suppiluliuma has more syllables than any Pharaoh has ever dreamed of having. So we don't care about no stinking Pharaoh, folks.
for eternity.
The only Pharaoh that I ever cry for and that I miss is Pharaoh Bender. I will never forget Pharaoh Bender. I only wish I could have been there to build the statue that was 1 billion cubits high. But yes, I will always remember him. Someone needs to mod that in here. Can we get Pharaoh Bender modded into the game, please? I need to go watch the new Futurama series. I haven't seen it. It looks like there's a civil war going down now, too. I don't know if this is an Egyptian one. I think it is.
That when brothers turn against each other.
There's someone in my comments who made another good mention that I think is worth discussion. And the mention was that it's good to see that allies and vassals still start senseless and meaningless wars. That is indeed true.
Is inevitable.
It's a problem that is as old as Total War itself. The AI making really poor decisions. It would be nice to see some of that stuff stamped out as we get newer Total Wars. But we have not ever really seen it go away, and I don't think that we're going to see it go away, if I had to take my guess. So yeah, unfortunate reality of Total War games.
The last batch didn't, well, last.
I need to get some more troops into this army because we have...
Your warriors like holes.
Can I recruit on the road? I'm trying to remember. Let me see what I can do. I need to get down here and get into the battle. I can move over here. This increases our ambush chance for a few turns, and I think we can recruit from down here as well. This will put me closer to the enemy border, and I can try and stack some more units.
Death is nothing to fear.
I'm just gonna grab some more of these Anatolian swordsmen. Yeah, thank you to everybody who is here live. I appreciate you. It is fantastic to see you. I'm reading through your comments here as I go along. Thank you to those who are channel members who have been supporting for so long, or maybe even recently. Appreciate it. Something that isn't necessary. You do not have to, but I certainly appreciate those who have. Very kind. Oh, look at these people. Kind enough to attack me while I'm busy trying to replenish. Of course. It says we're going to lose big time? I mean, I'm a little beat up, but I don't think we're losing big time here. Unless I'm missing something, but let's go ahead and fight this battle. Yeah, thank you for everybody who's showing up live. Thank you for everybody who's watching this later. It has been a long time since I've been able to stream, and it is fantastic to see you all. I see a lot of names here in the chat tonight that I recognize and appreciate, and even if you're new, I appreciate you being here as well. So it is good to have you here. I will try to stream more often. I can't guarantee it. My boys are getting older. It's my responsibility to spend as much time with them as I can, and not just a responsibility, it's something I want to do. I want to spend as much time with them as I can because I enjoy it, and it's really fantastic getting to, you know, spend a bunch of time with my boys. So something that I very much value. We are pretty beat up. And then the enemy is going to get to start way over there where they're going to pick up all their reinforcements before I'm able to get to them. So this may indeed be a more challenging battle than I had hoped. But we were sieged, and we were going to start taking attrition regardless. So we got to move up here and do something about it. I'll tell you what, though, I am excited. Tomorrow, I think Star Trek Infinite comes out by Paradox. And I actually think I'm going to play that. I've been wanting to try something different. Not because I'm done with Total War. But I think myself and a lot of people maybe have a little bit of burnout with a lot of things Total War right now. Again, doesn't mean I'm going to quit it or stop it, but I want to try something different. And there's not a lot of games that get me very interested. And I don't know, maybe the Star Trek game won't, but I love Star Trek The Next Generation. And it looks like that's what it's based in. I like Paradox. I've heard that it's a lot like Stellaris, but Star Trek. I never got to play Stellaris, and I would like to try it. So I am very interested to go try something different. I'm going to go give that a try. So I'll be putting up some of that. May stream it and do some work on it. But yeah, I think that's going to be fun. Homeworld 3 comes up early next year, and I'm super excited for Homeworld 3. For those of you who aren't familiar with it, Homeworld was a very old school real-time strategy game that was absolutely fantastic. I loved Homeworld 1 and 2. Deserts of Karak was an excellent game as well, and so I will absolutely be putting some time into Homeworld 3. EDF is being mentioned right now in the chat. What is EDF? I don't even know what it is. So I will take a look at it if you all let me know what it is. But yeah, I'm interested in playing some other games. Not because, again, because I hate Total War or think it's dead forever. That's definitely not where I'm at right now. But we just like to do other stuff. Ooh, that's right. Cities Skylines 2 is out. That could be interesting. I really enjoyed Surviving Mars, and you know, it's kind of a city builder type 3.
King Suppiluliuma.
That could be fun. Let's see here. Alright, looks like my very, very slow Hittite troops are very, very slowly making their way towards the front here. Electric Dance Funky Town? Is what I'm being told EDF is? I have never heard of such a thing. Earth Defense Force? Okay, but Electric Dance Funky Town does sound pretty exciting. Starship Troopers type thing. Okay, Earth Defense Force. I'll take a look at that. Oh well, we may get killed here. This is definitely looking like a I may die type of scenario. There is a very numerous horde of enemy troops over here. Oh gosh, and they're already engaging me over here. And I am very short in numbers. Try and swing my bowman over that way. I need to maybe see if we can pin the enemy up in here and get him blobbed a little. That might help me. This terrain over here is really not ideal for my chariots, and it's worrisome that I'm gonna get killed here.
March on! Spears! As one! Swords!
We are insanely outnumbered at the moment.
In Hatti's name!
Actually can't afford to have that unit leave. I'm gonna have to... Good. I actually think we're gonna lose this. This might be a I need to reload type of situation because my faction leader is getting caught here, possibly defeated.
We fight for Hatti!
I'm gonna try and get these chariots moving over here. We need a ton of help and we need it fast. The enemy has huge numbers advantages on me. I mean massive numbers advantages. I'm gonna actually move up here. My bows are not being very effective in that fight, unfortunately.
Wheeling into position.
I'm gonna try and wheel my chariots on through here.
Do not waste time.
If anything can bail me out of this battle, it's going to have to be my chariots.
Strike with purpose. Spears. Murakanta, protect us. Death take you.
The chariots
Chariots maneuver.
are struggling to get through this heavy armor over here, though. I may have to go backwards and then work my way around because we are absolutely stuck over here. pump some fire into that. We are hugely outnumbered, and I desperately need to get help to my troops over there. But I'm struggling. My chariots need to get around this edge here. I guess I could have fought this inside the settlement walls, but I don't feel like that would have helped me a lot, because we probably would have just taken a lot of attrition waiting on the AI. I don't know that we have the numbers to get ourselves out of this mess. I don't want my own arrows to hit me here.
Wheeling into position. Make them tremble.
My chariots have killed a tremendous number of enemies, but we are tremendously outnumbered. I mean, just massively outnumbered.
Chariots moving. Chariots maneuver. Let loose your arrows. Soldiers of Hati. Move.
Oh, I forgot a commander that came in as a reinforcement over here. That is brutally bad of me.
Place these chariots.
Get them. Can't take shots off of those skirmishers. Yeah, I've killed almost 200 enemies with the chariots, but it's not anywhere near enough. I've botched this battle, probably.
For the 1,000 gods.
I bet I have botched it. I don't think I can save it.
Wheeling into position. They die today.
Let's see what we can do here. Trying to keep these chariots moving. Trying to keep killing skirmishers. My units are just utterly outnumbered here. They're actually fighting insanely well, considering how badly they're outnumbered, but it is just literally sheer numbers that's crushing us right now. We have no prayer of overcoming the numbers at the moment. If I had multiple chariot units, probably could have done this one. But I just don't have enough heavy chariots to turn the tide here. Got 250 kills though, that is spectacular.
Wheeling into position. Chariots moving.
But whatever I did here isn't going to work, because there's just no way we have the numbers to dig ourselves out of this. Having that extra general up here would have helped significantly. Don't know if it's enough to turn the battle, though.
Soldiers of Hati! Chariots! Triumph awaits!
I'm gonna see if I can clean up this fight here in the middle, but like I said, a lot of good it's gonna do me at this point. There we go.
Wheeling into position. Ever faithful.
Yeah, we're getting totally wrapped up here.
Chariots moving.
286 kills in the chariots, that's insane. I don't really want to lose this battle, I just fought so hard to get here. Let's try it again. Maybe we can fight our way out of it. This is annoying, like, these guys did not have any ill will towards me, and then I take the settlement and they're like, oh, by the way, we're gonna declare war on you before you can get away and before you can replenish. I mean, that is very convenient for them. Very convenient indeed. What can I do to gain some type of advantage here? Any advantage? Is there any advantage that I can take? I lose if the time runs out because I attacked. I have no idea how to get control of this at the moment. The landscapes do look beautiful. Some people in my chat mentioned that. I agree. That's something I've been calling out on this game thus far as well. The landscapes are absolutely gorgeous. They look fantastic. Alright. Is it possible to overcome the numbers disadvantage? We are outnumbered by about 600 troops. So we have got to kill so efficiently that I can overcome about 600 troops difference. That seems like it is going to be difficult. Alright. Let's move up and then see if there's some way that I can maneuver and get these guys to screw up. They are kind of bottled up in a corner. I wonder if I come in from like up here and then maneuver against them in this direction, if the AI will botch their ability to reform because of the the physical structure over there. And then if I can get them bottled up in the corner, maybe I can keep them contained and start running over with chariots somehow. I don't know. The chariots got a ton of kills on that last one, even without me using them perfectly. So I think what I'm gonna do is try and spread like a nice solid wall of heavy infantry, and we'll do something kind of like this, and I'll see if I can bottle them up. Is there other reinforcements that came in? Oh, they're coming after me. That's not what I want. Run away. Run away, run away. We don't want to fight them right now. I wonder if I can pull these guys away from the edge of the map by chance too, because that would also be a win. Let's see what happens when I move away from these units. Can I separate them out? Because if we could kill some of their stuff piecemeal, then we might actually have a chance here. They're still pursuing me. We might have a chance to take some stuff out early here. Let's see if we can fix a few of these troops and smash them with the chariots real quick. Then I'm gonna move my heavier infantry back up around this way.
King of Hattusha, honor bound. So hearty. My feet are wet.
Okay, so they're kind of blobbing in over here. This might create a target of opportunity for me. I gotta keep my chariots just outside of the range of these javelins. The javelins are dangerous, and right now they're interspersed with a lot of heavy spearmen, which creates a big risk factor for me. But we did get some of their troops out of position. If we can get these guys singled out over here, prove tremendously hopeful. Maybe I can move these bowmen up here to screen off. There we go. Move a couple of units around, try and get in, and see if maybe we can break this blob over here. We have flaming arrows? We do not. Dang, that would be helpful. I need to turn off skirmish mode and fire at will. I'm gonna have to choose my target. Oh, charge, charge, don't get shot. I gotta push those javelins back and then swing back outside the range this way. Oh, we're gonna take a hit over here, I think. Hurry, get out of their range. Get out of their range. Ah, I let them shoot anyway. I wasn't in their range. What a ripoff. Ooh, we got a brutal charge into the back of those. I gotta push up more units to keep those javelins off my case. Like, I can't let them sit and discharge. Wow, we took so much damage right there. That's frustrating.
Never surrender. Archers.
Yeah, this is not really working the way that I had hoped. My chariots are taking pretty egregious damage already. I'm gonna have to pull them out of there. Let's pull this stuff up. We got some of these tiny units over here too. Let's move those up.
Strike with purpose. Death take you. Make them tremble.
We got too many units in there right now. I had to pull my chariots back away. This isn't really going any better, if I had to venture a guess.
Decisive.
There's no one place where I can really gain any advantage at the moment.
In Hatti's name.
Will to position.
King of Hattusha. Wherever I'm needed.
Well, I can't seem to get my unit out of this fight.
Follow your king.
The units really have a hard time disengaging from each other.
March on.
Seems to be very problematic. It makes it very difficult to shift and re-engage anywhere. Getting hit by a lot of javelin fire with my...
March, brothers.
Just can't afford that.
I never lose.
Yeah, I don't think this fight is at all any better for me than the previous one was.
Chariots.
My chariots took a ton of damage and really haven't dispatched that many enemies.
Triumph awaits.
I was thinking this might be good for us, the way those guys pushed us.
Also Hatti.
This is just frustrating, the way that I've ended up in this spot. Like, I've dominated the AI up to this point, and it's just like, hey, how do you like a random war that you can't possibly prepare for? You're gonna lose your army and then have to rebuild it. I'm like, great, thanks. I'll spend like the next 15 turns rebuilding everything, slow down the campaign even more. Cool, but I guess whatever. I mean, every now and then AI's gotta win something.
Place his chariot. Right
Just
them.
keep getting after these guys. I don't know that I have the numbers to get this job done. I just don't think we do.
Now. Send a volley.
I cannot keep my chariots moving. There's just so many units around.
Break their spirits.
We are not pulling their troop count down any faster than they're pulling my troop count down either.
Kill them all.
This is where that magic comes in so handy from Warhammer. I should have put all my units into a guard mode too, because sometimes they'll defeat a unit and then start moving forward and get themselves killed, which is really quite bad, of course.
Will to position. Aim well.
See if I can rout off some of these javelin men. That would certainly be helpful, though it's not going to be the be-all, end-all of this situation. Doing a lot of damage to their commander over here. At least there's that. The number of javelins is just too dang high here, even for me. And somehow they're killing my chariots, even though they're like fleeing in front of me with the skirmish mode on.
For the homeland.
Make them tremble.
We put a heck of a beating on their general with our archers, though. But this archer is now out of ammunition.
Destroy them.
Once again, our chariots, no matter how valiant the effort, just don't have enough in them. And then the rest of our army is just going to get outnumbered again, despite being qualitatively superior. I just don't know how to overcome the advantage.
Ready for battle.
To glory. Might and glory.
Never surrender. Guide.
Haven't even gotten quite as many kills with the chariots this time yet.
Triumph awaits.
Might and glory. Bloody the earth.
Yeah, I've got 108 kills with Suppiluliuma. The spear general's only gotten 34, so he's not very competent in attack.
This is not
Seems like a defensive-only type unit.
Spears.
Yeah, I just don't think we're going to have what it takes to win this, so this puts me in a really frustrating situation of lose my army, slow everything down, re-recruit, lose multiple provinces while the enemy pushes on me while I'm re-recruiting. You can only recruit 2 units per turn out of 20 stacks, so I've got like a minimum of 10 turns to re-recruit. Gotta wait on my commander to come back, so this is gonna just essentially end up setting my campaign back probably anywhere from 15 to 20 turns. So, not gonna be fun. There's really no way out of it. And I think that this is not Warhammer, so I'm pretty sure that Suppiluliuma is just dead if we lose this battle. Which means that if I want to continue a Suppiluliuma campaign, I would have to reload. Unless it lets him get wounded, I don't know. Maybe the wounding is what happens in this game. I know that happened in Three Kingdoms. I don't know. Yeah, there's really no way for me to do this. There's too many enemies, and we can't have a big enough impact on their morale fast enough here. It's just not going to happen. I cannot impact their morale fast enough. With that much, we could win this battle easily if my troops hadn't been damaged from the siege. But since they were damaged from the siege, it doesn't. I don't think it's winnable. Maybe it is if we troll them just right.
I will not let my kingdom be torn asunder. King of Hatti.
So I don't know what's gonna happen. We'll see here. I know that it's extremely annoying, and it's gonna set me back a great deal of time. And is not at all what I wanted to deal with tonight. I was hoping to have a little fun, not spend the entire stream rebuilding an army, because the AI just backstabs me randomly and immediately.
For Hatti's glory.
Ay. I'm just gonna end the turn. See what we can do here. I'm gonna find out what's going on, whether there's wounding or whether it's death, because our king is as good as gone. We can't get him out of the situation. It would take me multiple turns to force march, and then look at this, guys, all over my territory already. It's classic Total War right here, baby. You're doing just fine, and then the AI declares some idiotic wars, and all of a sudden, you're screwed.
Death is nothing to fear. Forward, men.
Alright, let's see what we can do.
Pray your warriors lock hold.
Foreign territory? Oh, that's right, they tore my stuff down.
To spill blood.
Well, great. Can I reload my turn here then? Let's reload this one. I need to stop where I'm moving and recruit more units, because I'm going to have to get this. Someone's saying in the chat whether or not the characters can die. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know whether the characters can die. It hasn't happened to me yet. I haven't ended up in this kind of annoying situation yet while playing any of these campaigns pre-launch. This is assuredly the most annoying situation that I have ended up in yet.
I need anger and discipline.
There are elite warriors we could get here. They're going to cost me some bronze to recruit and then bronze to upkeep. We're already bleeding bronze. These would be very, very handy, no doubt, but they come with a tremendous upkeep cost, one that I can't likely afford at the moment. These chargers... These guys, no, they're not a shield unit, it's a club unit, like a heavy charge unit. Two-handed club infantry, and then we have Hittite archers. They take bronze, though, to maintain. Let's go ahead and grab that unit, and then let's... Wait a minute, why didn't it... I don't like that. I have to click the recruit button. Okay, whatever. And let's go back over here. Grab a couple more of these swordsmen. I don't have any chariots in this army, though, which is going to make it even harder to try and get around an army's flank and rout them. Just go ahead and end another turn. It's really nothing that's really going to be that big of a deal here. People in the chat here are saying, I arrived to see Heir taking a decisive defeat. Yes, we are. We are absolutely dead. Rest in pieces, our 6-syllable king. There is nothing I can do to save you there. so nothing I can do to save you. 'Tis unfortunate. Sacred land lost. Ambition. Maintain 25 units in total. Get some food and bronze. I'm probably not going to be able to accomplish these two, but we might accomplish this one as I rebuild some armies. So I'm going to need to come over here to Hattusa, and I'm going to have to recruit a general. Suppiluliuma is wounded. He'll be back in 2 turns. In the meantime, we can pull a general in just to help us with recruiting,
The blade of
because we do need to start recruiting. At least I'm not bleeding bronze anymore, but I also lost a chariot unit that I can't replace, but I think I can get the royal chariot unit. These Hattusan swordsmen looks like solid units here. I may stack up as many of these as we can get here. Put those as a nice baseline. So Suppiluliuma is wounded, so it is not a death thing, fortunately for us. That may upset certain historical fans who prefer the games to play from a more historical type concept. What do our defenses look like in some of these places? Ziplandia is not as much as I would like. And what do we got here? So that adds a garrison of spears, so that's good. Tight trading post. Army gains morale for a few turns by interacting with this. Monuments. Alright, so I don't really know what to build right now. Other than defenses, which seem like they're going to be useful over the next few turns. Some of these places, there's no way we could probably get them finished in time. I can try, though. We could use gold to rush the construction, but it would take a huge chunk of my gold, but I don't know if I know anything better to use it on at the moment. Having 11 defenders here is certainly going to be a gift. We're gonna need some more stone and workforce to continue some of these. The question is, do I move this army in and try and exact some revenge, or do I go ahead and get it a little bigger in order to help me out here? We're definitely gonna need numbers, as we just learned in that last battle. We can't afford to operate without large numbers of troops.
Born to spill blood. Prove yourselves,
There we go.
or be forgotten.
Alright, so we will have a pretty fair number of troops there pretty quickly. I guess we can carry out court actions.
It is the time to take stock and take note.
Can I remove him from that position and then claim the High Judgeship? Let's find out. Yes. Claim with this guy. There we go. So now we've claimed the High Judgeship, which gets me more legitimacy than the other position. It says visit sacred Hittite lands to modify happiness, preside upon cases for rewards. Okay, alright. Take a ruling. So on the next turn, we can use this judgeship to maybe get some rewards. That could be good. We'll give that a shot.
It is time we counted cattle and coin and listened to the people.
Okay, let's see. Instruction available at Hattusa. I don't think we have the workforce right now. It's actually... What is this? Tenacity active. It means to greatly increase replenishment rate. Okay, alright, let's end our turn. Alright, well, let's see what I can do to dig myself out of this hole. Because a hole we are in. gonna start bleeding food pretty quickly. Now, feasibly though, we can get that food back if we just start winning a lot of battles.
All will tremble.
So if we can get in here and start crushing enemies, we'll start taking on nice chunks of food. That's a walled settlement. It's gonna waste a ton of my time to get over and deal with the walled settlement. It's not what I would prefer to have to deal with at the moment, so I might move this way and see if we can find some enemy armies to crush. And we'll see how we do there. Again, thank you to everybody who is joining live. It is fantastic to have you here. It's been way too long since I've streamed, and it is definitely a pleasure to have everybody back under the roof here, so to speak. And if you are watching this afterwards, thank you as well.
1,000 gods bear witness. We are called to noble work.
Suppiluliuma already used their one action. Your court action this turn. I didn't think I did use a court action this turn. Whatever. Alright, whatever. Oh, here it is. Alright, so 2 bereaved men recount how their sons, following a heated land dispute, dueled with swords and mortally injured one another. Both grieving fathers now demand retribution in the form of the other's property. The first father is an aging veteran of the Battle of Kadesh, who lost his sight in service to Hattusa, while the other is a strong youthful merchant with wide influence at home and abroad. While facts favor the old soldier, the traitor has enough bronze to ease the judicial process, so we can do the right thing and take a huge chunk of food, which we're going to need, because we're going to be bleeding food, or we can get a ton of bronze. Now, the bronze is curious here, because if I take on a chunk of it, it could last long enough, I could recruit better units, but I don't know if it's going to be enough to sustain it for very long. Whereas this chunk of food could help me considerably. I guess I'm going to go with the blind veteran here, because that chunk of food I feel like could be quite useful to us at the moment.
And true.
Well, it's good to be the judge, you know, you get lots of rewards from being a judge. These ancillaries, let's see, strongman here. Let's use that. Alright. The kind of pending stuff here. Oh, this is our new character. I don't think it really matters what we give him because we're not really going to be using him a lot. Outpost constructions, construction available at Hattusa. It would be good to have defenses here as well. We're lacking the stone, so let's wait a turn and get the stone we need to try and add more defenses. Let's see if we can stabilize this. It is a mess of a situation. But let's see if we can stabilize it. We've got to get our other army put together. Suppiluliuma is recuperated from his defeat.
We must be ruthless.
Replace general with Suppiluliuma.
I will not let my
Alright.
kingdom be torn asunder.
So we are getting some swordsmen put back into his army. Of course, our enemies fled in front of my troops here, which was quite brave of them. It's like, hey, we killed your settlement, and now we're going to run away without gaining any sort of victory whatsoever.
Ours by conquest.
I will rebuild this settlement once again.
Righteous King of Hatti.
We have a lot of faction units here that could come in handy. We got the Hattusan swordsmen. That is mostly what we're recruiting. The Hattusan archers were also very handy. A lot of these units take bronze to recruit and upkeep, and we're just going to be very short of bronze. Like, very short of it. We're going to need a very sturdy front line to hold up to our enemies. It would be nice to get at least 1 or 2 elite units. I'm thinking about grabbing this Royal Hittite Chariot when the time comes. I think we'll wait till we get close to combat and we'll recruit this chariot in. And we will see what we're able to get out of that.
For Hati's glory.
Yeah, right now, just kind of some boring rebuilding. Let's take another
Be
judgment.
seated, peers of the court. We have much work to do.
Is it not going to work? Or can we only do it like once?
The 1,000
Oh,
gods
you can only do it once in the year.
We are
That's
called
no
to
fun.
noble work.
I want to do it a lot of times in a year. Let's do some embezzling here.
I will never deny anyone my help, especially for the good of Hati.
What did we embezzle, by the way? Alright, buildings and units. Alright, do we have the stone for this now? Yes, we do. And once again, I'm going to risk using some gold for this because we have got to defend these small settlements. We've got to have a larger garrison, and now we do. And that will go a long ways in helping us fight off these enemy trash stacks that come after us, because having 11 units there is going to make it a lot easier for us to maybe beat some larger armies that come after us. We didn't quite get 25 units. Or ambition fulfilled. Sweet. So we picked up another chunk of food and bronze. Sweet. Alright, we can trade our turn, get 50 gold, and lose a court action. I'll take the gold. I gotta replenish some gold from all that spending we just did. So I'll trade my court action for this turn. We have a commandment available at Hattusa. Royal Gardens there.
King of Hati.
Alright, so we need more troops. Man, it takes forever to recruit new troops. I need to get more recruitment slots opened. I can't remember if that's a general ability or what it is, but we certainly need more recruiting slots. So right now we have 6. I need at least 8
By me.
of these solid sword infantry units to kind of hold the line. Then we'll have to put together some flanking units. Got vassal units available to us here. But again, those take bronze, and this is a medium unit with high speed and good charge bonus. It does take some bronze to maintain, but this could be useful up the flank, kind of like a cavalry unit, because it can hit hard on the charge. And then let's grab a Hittite archer unit here too. Why not? It's going to use up a little bit of bronze, but
and die with you.
it'll help me recruit quicker.
Great King of Hati.
We've got to get our armies put
I
back
will
together.
offend.
Can we sneak around here? Yeah, an ambush stance. Okay, that's what we need.
Death is
I'm going to
nothing
make a
to
move
fear.
down here towards enemy territory. And I'm
We
going to
must
lay an
clear off.
ambush stance along the way
Get
and
into
see if we
hiding.
can lure some of these AI armies a little closer to us across that river and defeat them. It says we have an outpost available to us. This one is damaged. Take to fix it. It'd take quite a bit to fix. Guess I'll go ahead and fix it, though this could be a risk. It's expensive to fix. Alright. Let's see what we can do. This is not how I'd hoped things would go tonight, but it is certainly the way that things went. And
For
we will make the
Hati's
most of
glory.
it.
Let your worth show.
I can't spend up too much bronze because we'll run out of it quite quickly. This unit is also going to be a pretty good flanking unit.
Come, brethren. It is time.
We're going to need units to get working on the flanks. Gonna hit recruit there, and then let's...
King of Hati.
8 of units. These guys are also going to be decent flankers, but we only have
Come,
the 2
let
recruitment
us
slots.
safeguard Hati.
our vassal is still here.
I'm grateful for the chance to express my admiration.
Okay. Alright.
I will conquer.
We're still in an ambush stance. I no longer see those enemy units there. I think we have to come out of the ambush stance to
Endless
move.
aggression. Marching onward. Forward, men. Stick
I'm gonna
to
re-enter the ambush stance there. I don't know where the enemy armies went, but this province is now fairly secure, and if I save some more... This one's fairly secure too, so we've done a lot of work to secure our provinces. I need to make some upgrades here, which I think just means we need a lot of stone at the moment. And then we can make Ziplandia safer, so at least we've got some upgrades in place that will help
Be
us
seated, peers of the court.
moving forward.
We have much work to do.
This is very specific and kind of strange. This whole army wages thing should have been just upkeep cost for a certain number of turns, because, like, oh, army wages. Well, actually it's recruitment cost, and actually you have to choose a very specific kind. And then, like, this, yeah, it's kind of weird. I don't really like that one. It's kind of irritating.
We're
Kind of
well-matched in
irritating, if
mutual
I'm being
respect,
honest.
countryman. Cheers.
Alright, I can't really figure out how I feel about the court. It could just be me not necessarily understanding the court very good. But to me, at the moment at least, the court doesn't feel particularly exciting. There's some cool stuff. You can embezzle some funds. You can get some cool units out of it every now and then. Like, it's not totally useless. I'm just... it's kind of so-so for me. You know? I'm not feeling the whole court thing. We can recruit chariots if we build up this. It would be nice to be able to recruit chariots. Let's do that. Okay, let's end our turn here again. Yeah, it would certainly be nice to be able to get some more chariots. Chariots seem like they are going to be the difference maker, really. We got another faction that we're at war with over there. Like, can I have a break? Are we gonna have 2,000 gold in 15 turns? Gold prestige, deal evaluation plus 10. Okay, that, like, really just to get plus 10? Except barters? Barters are the only things that would be useful. Conquer a region producing gold. Build a monument. And then it reduces construction cost for 20 turns. I mean, this is the only one we're likely to complete right now, if I'm being honest here. Alright, so... Economic outpost, religious outpost, administrative outpost, hill, fort post, way station, Hittite monument. Alright, so here's the monument. Let's build it. It's in a somewhat risky position. Hard to say whether we will actually get it built.
Hungry for war.
Yay, another siege battle. Woo! I can't wait. Okay, these guys have settlements up here to my north and east, and they are moving in on me, but their army over here is quite small, so it's not likely to gain any traction. If we take out this settlement, maybe we can clear out a flank.
Violence is necessary.
They have 9 in the garrison, 6 there.
Doing my duty.
Pretty good chance we should be able to overpower these guys. We've got lots of good,
Cower behind your walls.
you know, medium weight infantry. Let's do this. So see, like, it's gonna take a minimum of 3 turns of just sitting on my butt on the campaign map
Starve them out.
before I can, you know, potentially siege these guys. So that's another reason why I'm saying, like, that
King of Hatti.
siege battles aren't really doing
I am
it
in
for me.
need of comrades in
Yeah,
arms.
they're kind of meh at best. Alright, they got the Hittite tribesmen. Need lots of units, and it's gonna cost me so much
At least
food.
we are in this together. I will live
We
and
just need to
die.
bury the enemy in units at the moment. That's really all that we need to worry about.
Righteous King of Hatti.
Alright, we're almost done getting Suppiluliuma's army rebuilt. Appreciate the AI helping me out there. We got a royal decree available. A lot of these seem pretty unexciting, if I'm being honest. Yeah. What do you all think? Are these exciting to you? Like, when you're looking at these benefits, does this get you excited? Like, ooh, I can't wait to research that. Eh? Does this mean that tier 3 units are the only ones that get the discount? So see, like, I'm trying to figure this out. Like, is that just tier 3 units that get the benefit? Yeah, and then that one, tier 4 units? Like, how come I can't get a discount on the lower tier units? Or does this unlock those next tier units? I'm not sure I fully understand what it's stating there. Because, like, it'd be nice to have some benefits on my lower units right now, because they're the ones that I have to use the most of, since I don't have... Mission... Yeah, see, I don't know, just, these aren't very exciting to me. They're kind of like a typical historical Total War stuff, where it's like, yay! That's great. You get +1 happiness. I don't know. I'm not feeling the excitement on these. Like, there's none of these that I'm excited to research at the moment. That feels disappointing, if I'm being honest. Be curious to see what you all think about the tech tree. Like, I'm not really digging that tech tree. They have some heavy javelin units, that's interesting. These guys are potent. Multiple commander units. I feel like we might be able to win. Then again, I thought that previously too. They get their garrison here, but if we can win, it opens up a big victory for us. Let's give it a shot real quick. Leave it to the AI, of course, to always have an army right outside of sight, conveniently located to bail them out. It's not a coincidence, folks. It was there, trust me. Just because the fog of war was up and you couldn't see it, doesn't mean that it wasn't there and it didn't just appear to bail them out. Okay?
Might and glory.
You stop thinking that.
True warriors!
Okay. Let's give this a shot. We have a rather large army. There's going to be enemy reinforcements coming. We need to try and bottle them in. We need to try and get outflanking positions and ultimately start to wrap them up.
Glory to our
Alright, I'm going to fast forward. Some people are saying in the chat live that they came for the hats. Now remember, the Hat USA is what we call Hattusa instead of Hattusha or Hattusa. Apparently we're having fun with that. Wow, this is a very clogged up for the enemy to fight from. We might be able to get them in kind of an awkward position here. We shall see. It does make outflanking for me exceptionally difficult, which means that this is just going to turn into a giant grind-out slog of extremely boring nature here. Wow, this terrain, though. Yikes. Alright, let's see if they march forward any. Because this terrain is not going to be good to fight from. They're sending some units up. Alright, let's see. Yeah, they're marching most of their army up at this point. If they do and they come and blob in this area, I might be able to kind of wrap up around them while fixing them. I think this could work. This could work. I'm gonna actually take my archers and cease fire on these cheap units, because those, it's not really much gonna matter. The AI is trying to scooch around the edge over here. I'm gonna try and make that difficult for them. A quick charge into that club and shield infantry.
We can do it! Move!
As commanded.
Follow close!
Okay, here we go.
Swords!
Their other units decided to peel off of that. They've got some slingers up on the hill that are going to be a little annoying here.
Victory awaits!
I'm going to unload a bunch of fire into some of these swordsmen. Let's charge this unit.
Break them.
Take us on stone! Might and glory! True warriors!
We don't want to get blobbed up and just end up in an equal type blob fight here.
In Hatti's name!
We're going to want to score some rear charges and try and break units quickly.
For Hatti!
Get some good damage onto that sword unit. Let's target their
Fire!
commander here, and then let's move some of these units in. The AI definitely overcommitted in the center here, and I do see what I believe is a weakness here.
Name!
We must run.
With me, men! Might and glory!
Push against them here. Let's take this unit in rear charge, and let's push these skirmishers.
Destroy them!
The other unit. Actually, let's push the skirmishers with the sword unit, and let's...
To glory!
Oh, never mind, these are both sword units. Just go ahead and get in here. How are we doing over here in this blob? My archers should be dishing a significant amount of damage into that blob.
Swords!
I've got an extra sword unit here that we can take and pile over here.
Clubs.
Alright, that'll disrupt some skirmishers some.
Bound by duty!
I'm gonna
Die, fools!
try and further disrupt this, so... I feel like our position isn't terrible, yet it's also not amazing. This commander should be close to death. We have pumped a significant amount of ammunition into him. I'm gonna actually go ahead and change my target to some of these other blobbed units over here.
Strike with purpose!
Okay. I'm gonna actually see if I can cycle charge the spear unit while the sword keeps these guys fixed.
Soldiers of Hatti.
These units, I think, get a good charge bonus.
March on!
So I'm gonna see if I can cycle charge that out.
To glory!
Trying to bust through here, but we're having a slow start through those slingers with both my swords
Ready for battle!
and my clubmen. I kind of expected them to perform a little bit better in that fight. Let's see if we can cycle charge in there. We've almost dumped our ammunition, though it was pretty successful. We've killed a lot of units over here. And we've gotten a lot of kills.
Away. Aim well.
I need to take a moment and say thank you to Ragnar, who is watching live tonight, and Ragnar is supporting the channel, donated $50. That is unbelievable, Ragnar. That is so extraordinarily kind, and
Thank you.
I'm blown away. Thank you so much. That,
We cannot win this.
wow.
Victory awaits.
Ragnar, thank you. He says, I just want to say thank you for taking time out of your day to spend with us. I appreciate all you do. Well, thank you, Ragnar. Again, thank you for the extremely kind support. Obviously, you do not have to support like that to watch the channel. When you do, I'm going to take it and use it to, you know, like I take that kind of stuff and usually save it and use it to keep my computer up to date and, you know, to be able to try and bring you all good content all the time. So that's typically what I do whenever folks are kind enough and donate like that. So thank you, Ragnar. It'll get put to good use in making sure that the channel stays up to date and, like I said, able to bring folks hopefully the content that you enjoy. Wow, we are not doing well here. This is not going well, but thank you so much, Ragnar. I appreciate you. I appreciate you and all the other tons of people who are so generous and kind with their time and their praise and support of the channel. It means a lot, and it's one of the reasons why I continue to do this for so long, even though I've been doing it for so long. I just really enjoy making content for people, and it is very satisfying. So I have been making videos for a long time, and I hope that I don't have to stop it anytime soon. That's what I would say. So thank you again, Ragnar. Appreciate it. And thank you to everyone else who's watching, both live and later. I don't know if we can win this. Like, we're not getting a very good roll-up. This fight could break up soon, but that general never died, and it's making that fight very slow to wrap up. We have more troops than them, and their troop count is dropping rapidly. And if we can start to cut through these slingers and javelin units who are all around over here, we might have a chance. Especially if we can get this fight broken up. I tried to pull my commander out of that fight because he was about to die, but like right here, this club and shield infantry just won't rout. Look at this, it is fighting down to the last man. Tell me the AI doesn't get some nonsense shenanigans in their favor. Alright, now you can see it's starting to get a little contagious here. You can see units routing, and that little down arrow there, I believe most of these units are frightened because nearby units are fleeing. So I'm hoping that we can make this fairly contagious. Yep, look, there goes a bunch of the slingers back here. This is looking good, folks. I don't know if this will be decisive enough, but it's looking good in terms of turning in our favor rather heavily. There we go, we finally broke that commander unit that had been a thorn in our side right there in the middle for so long.
Move.
Ragnar, thanks again. He is commenting in the chat here. I feel like I owe it to him to read it out loud, obviously because of the support. He says, I know the little ones are probably sleeping, but you could be spending time with your family and giving it to us. I'm glad you enjoy it and it doesn't go unnoticed. Yes, I do attempt to balance that as best I can. So Ragnar, my boys, what I usually do is I get home from work, I spend all of my time with them and Mrs. Eyre, so like I'll sit down, I'll play with them, we'll, you know, make dinner, eat together. I spend some time talking to them about what they did in school and stuff during dinner. And then after we get done with dinner, I'll play with them a little more, make sure to get them in bed, and, you know, like I said, just spending as much time with them as possible is my objective. And then when they're in bed, that is usually when I do my recording, and I have to try and get it done in a hurry, because the quicker I can get done, not only the more sleep I can get, but also I get a little extra time with Mrs. Eyre at the end of the day, which of course is also very appreciated. But yes, I do try very hard to focus on giving them a lot of time. You know, like sometimes I'll come home from work, we'll take the boys out, I'll go for a jog with the dog, And I'll, you know, Mrs. Air will bring him. We'll meet up down in the park that I jog to, and we'll all walk around, let them ride their scooters, their bikes, you know, stuff like that. So I do attempt to spend as much time with them as I can. Time has gone by rather fast, and I'm very keenly aware of the fact that they're only kids once, and my time with them is very precious, and I enjoy it thoroughly, so I don't want to miss it. I don't want to miss it. But yeah, thank you for the support. But yes, I do try to balance that time, and yes, my time with them is precious, but at the moment, I try not to let that time compete, obviously, with me doing this, right? So at the moment, they are not in competition. I've tried to make sure they never were in competition. But, you know, I am keenly aware of that, and it is always a challenge. Now, when I was younger, and my boys were younger, they went to bed earlier, and because they were younger and they needed more sleep. And so it was a lot easier with them going to bed earlier to still have a lot of recording time and time with Mrs. Air, because they, you know, kids at that age would be in bed sometimes at 6 or 6:30, and now my boys can easily stay up until 8:30 or 9. That's a big shift, you know, in the amount of time that's available. And then the older I get, of course, the more things I have to do. I have to maintain the house, I have to maintain the yard, I've got to keep up with certain repairs, I've got property that we own that I occasionally have to do mowing and cleaning on. Yeah, I've got a lot to do that I have to balance it all in, and I'm getting old and I need exercise. So like I have to take specific time to go exercise. Sometimes what I try to do with that is I'll actually try and do it during my lunch break at work. I'll try and head over to the gym and get a little bit of exercise in. But yeah, I mean, it is definitely a lot to do, but at the same time, it's good to be busy. I would rather be busy than feel idle. Although it is nice to have a break from time to time, so I don't mean that I don't ever enjoy a break, because I certainly do, but it is, in my opinion, it feels good to be busy.
I grow stronger each day.
So there we go. But yeah, I'm very proud of him. It's cool to see him grow and get smarter, stronger, older, all that kind of stuff, but at the same time, I'm going to miss, you know, as they get older, having that time with them. Wow, this is another huge battle, so no matter how big I built up my garrison, the AI is able to just cheese full stacks at me here. So this is actually turning out very similar to a lot of my experience in Troy, which is you just get massively bogged down in extremely slow settlement battles, fighting for your life against these, and then your campaign takes forever because the auto-resolve rarely favors you. So yeah, this is very reminiscent of Troy here, and the pacing and excitement in these battles is not good. Like these minor settlement battles, it's actually quite bad. It's pretty bad. So I'm not a huge fan of this, and I feel like it's definitely hurting the game more than it's helping it. Again, I like the open field battles. They're pretty fun, like the one we just fought. It's pretty involved. I feel like it's been, to me again, one of the big things that's missing is maneuverability. Other than the odd chariot unit here or there, maneuverability is just extraordinarily lacking. And that feels like it's taking a toll, in my opinion, on the gameplay. Be curious to see what you all think, but that's kind of the way it feels for me at the moment. Some of their units are probably going to come over here, aren't they? Some are going to come here. They're probably going to attack me at 3 points. That's not good. I can't really defend 3 points. I don't know if this is defensible.
Soldiers of Hati! I fear nothing. We died were born to defend.
We're gonna have to hope it is. Oh, let's see. I'm gonna have to kind of get a feel for where the AI is going here. Like I said, these are pretty long, grindy slogs that you're gonna end up in here.
Yes. Guard this ground. Of course. Bound by duty. Guard this ground. Don't get exacted. Yes.
These guys have flaming arrows, but oof, yeah, this is gonna be rough. It's gonna be rough. All right, let's see what we can do. There are settings that I could do that would tinker with AI aggression. I could change battle settings, because I think the AI is getting some pretty significant leadership buffs, like we saw a club militia fight to the last man a moment ago, which, I'm not gonna lie, that seems a little bit beyond ridiculous.
Spears.
Spear wall formation, missile parry, so it really just gives them missile parry and charge reflect. Charge reflect could be good.
Spear wall.
Let's give that a shot.
Bound by duty. To glory.
Alright, I don't know if we're gonna have the numbers to gain an advantage anywhere in this fight.
Bone breaker.
So we'll see what happens.
Bowman ready.
Try and pour some bow fire out into here. I don't think we can withstand all of these assaults. Again, just numbers working against us here.
Victory awaits. Move.
Try and get as many angles as I can here. The javelin mill. Oh, I needed to countercharge there and I didn't.
Make them tremble.
Might be able to kind of bungle these guys up a little bit.
Me, men. With me.
We're just so outnumbered over here, I'm not sure how effective we're gonna be.
Strike with purpose. Swords.
I don't know, we'll see if we get lucky. That's about all we can hope for here.
Lieutenant javelins.
Just gonna have to dump my javelins into these fights, dump my arrows out into these fights, and hope for the best. The enemy troop count is significantly higher than our own, and we're gonna have to outkill them significantly. We do have a quality advantage in terms of a lot of our troops being higher tier,
Swords. In Hutti's
but
name.
not all of our troops are higher tier. This one has that advance formation that we can use here. We can try and push across this flank, see if we can crush these guys. I don't know if it works well or if it works to our disadvantage. I have no idea, but that unit is getting a lot of kills pushing back here. But they're also taking a fair bit of damage.
Bloodshed awaits.
It's disappointing that the general units don't seem to have many, you know, things like advance and stuff like that. See, look at this. These guys pulled through this fight and got into melee with my javelins. That's frustrating. These guys are struggling to throw their javelins. They just don't have great angles. I might be able to come over here and pitch them.
Brothers.
And then my archers over here did good. They got 170 kills. It's going to be a substantial number of kills on the enemy javelins there. That's going to play a big role. We've only lost 100 troops, and they've lost over 300. So about a 3-to-1 kill ratio at the moment, which is a solid start for us. It's a solid start indeed. I'm going to move over here just a little and pour my last little bit of ammunition over into the back of these axemen. I wish that since we were in town here, I wish you could move your unit back into one of these places and replenish ammunition. This resource storage provides a bonus only to the defender. Like, what is the bonus? Where does it tell me the bonus? I don't know what that bonus is.
Throw now.
Alright, I'm gonna chuck my javelins across there. How are we doing over in this fight? did the advance of my swordsman go?
Fight for Hati.
Yeah, it kind of looks like it just bungled up this entire fight and didn't really
I'll carve you in two.
accomplish a whole lot, unfortunately. So this fight looks like it's just going to bog down and not really go anywhere quick for me. We're now starting to lose a lot of units. That's not good. That's not good at all.
Aim straight.
Not good at all. Alright, our archers have used their ammunition.
Archers.
The only thing we can do now is try and throw them into a fight and
March, brothers.
see if we can gain an advantage. I feel like we're going to get ground out now. Like, we started strong, killed a lot of enemies. We're still killing them 2-1, but we're going to need to kill them more. Look at that, they pulled through me. What a bunch of cheaters. They pulled through me, and now they're running for my capture points. Bunch of cheating jerks. Yeah, we're getting ground down here eventually. We're going to have to get something big going somewhere, and right now that just does not look like it's going to happen. Unless I can maybe get this unit out and try and do some rear charges. This unit that I told to advance, it advanced in and caused a lot of damage, and now it's just totally stalled out
Break their spirit.
and appears to be dying rather rapidly.
Clubs.
I'm going to try and move this club unit out and around and see if I can situate a good rear charge here. I'm going to have to pursue these units that are trying to get behind me. I don't really have a choice. I can't give up my capture points. But, I mean, my spearmen are not getting any kills, so this is also not doing me any favors over here. Like, we're holding. I don't have any way to finish that fight because I don't have enough bowmen. So the improved garrison is essentially just buying me time. Like, it's not helping me win. In this case, because of how outnumbered we are, it's just buying me time. I think there's opportunities where it could help you win, but at the moment it's not. Look at this, these guys have split up. They're just going for my capture points. That is weird how they pulled through me. That's pretty cheesy and it's pretty irritating. Yeah, look, they're doing it again. They're trying to pull another unit through over here. Look at this. And then they're going to get the attacked in the rear penalty against me as well. Well, this is going to be probably another frustrating defeat here where we kill a huge number of enemies, but it won't be enough, and of course the AI will just get all their stuff back near immediately. Alright, well, we routed that unit. That's good. They stopped short over here and didn't actually begin the capture over there, which is really rather strange.
The gods have turned from us. March on.
Yeah, I just don't see us having a chance to finish this fight, unfortunately. Their commander's still alive over here. The rear charge didn't do anything. My sword unit died. The axes in here performed much better than my units did because of their bonus versus shields, I believe. So
Me like a true Hittite.
our units have not matched up very well thus far. They got another javelin unit that just pulled through back here. So this one is a downhill slog at this point, meaning we are going to lose. Their general ran away, though. That's good. I don't know that I have any way to actually capitalize on that, but he ran away. So too little and too late. Alright, enemy has broken through. I would try and just, like, bunch my units up to get a better advantage in some spots and beat those units up and then try and focus. But in this case, I think we were just too outnumbered. I'm fairly proud of the way we performed here. We killed a lot of their units, but we were just too outnumbered. Their commander, of course, already came back into this fight. We haven't even finished off that spearman. These battles slog on for a long time. So again, that's, to me, I can take the fact that I'm losing the battle. That's going to happen from time to time. I think what irritates me the most here is that these battles are slow. They're uninteresting. They're all the same. Like, you're just fighting in the same choke point over and over and over again, and the AI does the same thing over and over and over again. Like, and this ended up being the same thing in Troy. The open field battles were fun. The campaign map is pretty fun. There's a lot of improvements, but ultimately what it comes down to is it's a Total War game. Total War games are all about the battles, and the battles like this are not interesting. And the siege battles, they're not interesting. So, I don't know. For me, this is... if this is what the campaign is over the long haul, it's gonna be a slog. We'll see, though. I'll keep giving it a shot, but yeah. Let's see. So another unfortunate loss for us. Again, a very costly victory for our opponents, but it doesn't matter because you can see that they have like 3 armies to our 1. So they can afford costly victories, whereas I cannot, and I'm also now bleeding food at
I will not let my kingdom be
somewhat alarming rate because I was making a good chunk of food off of that settlement.
Kill them all. Make them tremble.
Alright, what do they want here? So this looks like maybe another judgment thing. Recruitment cost for Phrygian units or recruitment cost for Cascade. Like, none of these are going to make any difference. I don't think I can recruit either one of these. That's a huge disappointment. Like, we wait to get the judgment and hopefully get a good reward, and it's something just totally useless? Yikes. And see, even though I've been waiting here, it's going to make me take severe damage in battle. And if I do this, it's very likely the AI is just sitting back here with more stacks. And this is rough. We're just getting steamrolled by the AI, and the AI is just able to get more stuff than us. So it kind of... yeah, I don't know. We'll see. I'll give it a while longer. We'll keep playing some more campaign over the next few days, but at the moment I'm early into the campaign and the battles already just kind of feel like a time-consuming slog. See this? Look at this. They already have 11 units here, 19 in that one, 15 more behind that. Like, what can I do against that? So yeah,
Noble of heart.
I don't know what I can do. We'll see. I could try and bring these 2 armies together, but of course it's just going to leave all this land open for them to raid and destroy.
Great King of Hatti.
I don't know if any of my court actions are going to accomplish anything here.
And coin and listen to the people.
I guess minus 25% recruitment. Yeah, I don't know what else to do with these. These aren't... Whew, we're hurting, folks.
I am always
We are hurting, and no matter how much I upgrade the upkeep of my armies, it's still way more than I can afford. We've lost a couple of settlements recently, which is definitely hurting us on the food front, but even owning mostly food settlements and building all of those food settlements, I still can't maintain the armies that I need to defend against this AI. So I think what I may have to do for like my own sake of enjoyment is I may have to use the customization features. Look, it's another war. Oh my gosh. Wow. Another one. Fantastic. I may have to like adjust the campaign customization to where you get a little less upkeep, to where this might be a little more fun in the sense that I can actually recruit enough armies to fight all these battles, and then that might make this a little more entertaining in the sense that it wouldn't feel like it was just you against an endless wave of AI zombies. You know what I mean? That may make it better. So yeah, I may have to just work with the settings because they did add all the customization settings. And that may be something that a player has to do, is just like fiddle with the settings to get the game experience where they want it. Because at the moment, it's,
Hati will arise
like I
again.
said, the campaign map's not bad. I kind of like what I was doing here before we ended up in these endless wars. The AI aggression just all of a sudden went from like normal to just like full-on Leroy Jenkins aggression. And so that has made this very difficult
Going forth.
to deal with because all of a sudden we're just totally surrounded by almost innumerable enemies. And we can't afford the upkeep of our armies, and they
Righteous King
can.
of Hati.
So it may be something that we need to just kind of balance out a little
Stand by me.
in terms of how we deal with it. I'm not going to be able to afford this, but I'm going to try it anyway. I'll do one.
Come, let us save.
Yeah, we're going to bleed off our bronze in no time, so the only way we're going to be able to win here is if we build or win a lot of battles. I'm going to have to go win battles to pay for this upkeep, but maybe that Royal Chariot unit can be the difference maker. I don't know. We shall see.
Hati commands us all, peers. Even me, the great king.
What is the cease intrigue? Blackmail. Oh, geez. What do I want to do here, High Commander? See, again, this army wages would be cool if that was actually to do with upkeep. Otherwise, it's kind of useless. And, like, all of these seem kind of useless, too. At the moment. Like, this just seems like something I have to fiddle with at every turn, and it's not really providing me anything useful.
We have a saying.
Little
in
gold
Hati,
here and there, reward
"Once
here
you
and
know
there.
it, of course. Yes,
Like, I can't use the court, for instance, to influence other factions to help me in these wars. I can't use the court to assassinate some of these guys who are fighting against me. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, it's feeling kind of empty, honestly, the court.
That is
At least,
nothing
again,
to
maybe I
fear.
misunderstand it, though, so I'm open to the idea that I just don't understand it. I'm not sure. I do need food, and I'm not really using wood right now. I don't have much wood to give up, but probably need food more than I need wood at the moment, because building buildings isn't going to do much for me. Upkeeping troops will. Phrygia is just, like I said, they are full Leroy Jenkins on us at the moment, and it is going to be rough.
Always diligent. Keep your eyes open. Fate beckons.
All right.
My people come first.
We have an opportunity to get
Compassion
back into
is
the fight with
strength.
Suppiluliuma here. Let's see if we can gain a good solid victory here and leave ourselves on a slightly more positive note, right? Maybe earn a little bit of resources from crushing these guys. It's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough indeed. But this battle should be very manageable. I've got enough infantry to fully fix all their guys and then crush them with my royal chariots. Yeah, I feel like if I had some feedback based on my playing tonight, and again, this is only my playing tonight, there may be things that I'm missing. I haven't put tons of time into the game, so I'm not saying this is 100% definitive, but just from what I've been playing tonight and playing up to this point, there's a few bits of feedback that I would give to CA. One, the minor settlement battles are not interesting, and they're not fun. I don't really know what you do to fix them at this point, but they're not interesting, they're not fun. They're very repetitive. If you've played one, you've played them all. So that is the first bit of feedback that I would give them. The second bit I would give them is, and I'm not sure that I would give this feedback, but like if I'm just looking at my experience, the AI is getting way too many troops for the territory that they own. Way too many. Now that should be adjustable in the customizations that they gave. But right now I didn't change any customization settings, I just hit play.
Do not waste time.
It's too much. Now, that said, I should be able to adjust that in the customizations. But I do very much wonder about the longevity of the game. If a player like tonight, I've probably spent 50% of my time in siege battles and minor settlement battles and stuff like that that just
Anything for victory.
aren't very fulfilling. So I feel like that definitely needs to be addressed. Like there needs to be more open field battles, and then the open field battles,
Hurry.
like I said, they're lacking a lot of nice movement too, because again, the lack of maneuverability in this time period. Again, I get it, we're not gonna have companion cavalry, we're not gonna have cataphracts because it's the Bronze Age, but holy crap, like I feel like the battles are lacking something there. Maybe they just need to hugely adjust the infantry speeds. Maybe light infantry just becomes massively faster than the heavy infantry so that you can almost use them like cavalry. I don't know. Otherwise, it may just be a better idea to not place games in a time period where you can't get the basic fundamentals of what makes a battle fun because it just wasn't there in history. That will probably vary by person on what they think of that opinion, because I think some people really like the idea of the Bronze Age here, and they're okay with this different pacing and different types of battle. It definitely feels like it's lacking some right now.
Swords! Destroy them! Break them! March on! Move!
Okay, here we go. I'm gonna try and get my enemies fixed, and then not only fix them, but outflank them. I'm gonna focus my fire into their commander, because why not? I have the numbers game here, so let's play the numbers game.
We must run.
And let's push these chariots through the trees here.
Fly.
Alright. So far, so good.
Swords! Die, fools!
Strike with purpose.
This engagement over here looks good. We got some nice
With purpose.
outflanking maneuvers. Looks like I can close in and completely surround that fight.
Never surrender!
I can do that, and then let's run these chariots out of the wood and go crush all these skirmishers. Alright, looking good. The enemy commander's going down to a lot of archer fire. I'm getting some friendly fire into some of my own troops here too, but worth it, I think, to take down the enemy commander in a fairly spectacular fashion. They're going to be outflanked, and they're going to all rout here very quickly.
Swords!
And the royal chariots, let's take a look at them up close.
Might and glory. Kill 'em
Cool looking
all.
unit. A lot of armor on the horse, that's cool looking. Oof, it is getting a ton of kills too.
Get it out of here.
It did not take that thing long to rack up 60-something kills. Alright, well that royal chariot might be worth the painful investment of upkeep that we're going to pay for it.
Make them tremble.
Does the royal chariot come? Yeah, it came with, we got 3 chevrons on it. There we go. That chariot is getting a lot of kills when it crunches into something there. I'm hoping this royal chariot unit will give me something to really maul the enemy with.
Today.
Properly roll up a flank. Of course, assuming we have a way to maneuver them.
Protect us.
They are certainly getting a lot of kills very quickly when they roll into a fight, so these things must come with some pretty brutal statistics.
Here's the position.
Because my other chariots were good, but these already seem like they're going to be far more deadly.
Triumph awaits. Chariots moving!
Alright, well, we massacred the enemy here. I'm gonna fast forward, see if I can get my chariots over into that spear unit and pad the stats a little. Yeah, as far as the game so far, good changes to the campaign customization. I like the way the resources play in terms of the different types of resources and the different types of settlements. I don't have any complaints about the building chains. The UI is fine for me. The faction leaders so far have been kind of fun, slightly different. I mean, nothing on a Warhammer level of like asymmetry, but not bad for a historical game. The AI appears to be as dumb here as it was in any other games, both on the campaign map and in battle. The minor settlement battles are very boring. The major settlement battles are boring, and they slow down the campaign. Alright, that's my general thoughts on it at the moment. Like, if I just had to summarize my thoughts, I think that pretty well summarizes where I'm at. And we'll see whether that changes over time. I am going to take the replenishment, because there are probably a lot more enemy armies around. See, look at that. We gained some bronze. That's going to slow down our bronze loss. We gained some much-needed food. That gives me an extra turn worth of food. We gained some needed legitimacy. So that was important. A rather bruising victory for us. And I'm going to need to move over here and get ready to go and retake some of the settlements that I previously had. And like I said, I may have to combine these two armies against my enemies and just hope that I can hold over here, because my enemies are much smaller over here on this side. But yeah, there we go.
Doing my duty.
We have our royal decree that we finished, and so we're going to move on to the next rather not so exciting royal decree. Yay, workforce. I may not have... I mean, look at all these workforce things. Why is everything focused on workforce? Is just not that interesting. I don't get it. I don't get it. 15% food faction-wide. Okay, well, that would be cool. When allied with Egyptian factions? I mean, I get it because it's called the Nile Ever Giving, but we're the Hittites. Why do we have a Nile Ever Giving thing here? So, like, I have to be allied with Egyptians as one of their enemies in order to get it? Just weird. I don't get this. That's not good. It's not interesting. This is okay, like an extra god dedication slot, assuming that you get something good out of that. Speaking of, I haven't really looked at the religion stuff much. Maybe there's more that I could be doing there. Power of the Crown, which we can't do anything yet because we don't have enough legitimacy. We're working on it. Power, elevating them to princehood. We've used this. Local deities. We need to gain favor with Arena here. If we do, we get more raiding income and extra resources from looting. That devoted general thing is pretty sweet. That's a lot of reduced upkeep cost. So that would be good. So I think we have to build the right outpost and stuff to get that, so like religious outpost here, so see, like, this one gains favor. Let's build it. See what goes into it. I haven't built anything in a while.
Violence is necessary.
Court actions. Yeah, the court is...
gods bear witness.
It's okay with me. I was having more fun with the Egyptian court than I was this one, but it's mostly just because I was extracting a ton of gold. Current discounts for units. The Shimsu Horde take ruling. I was getting more gold out of the Egyptian court, so it was just a little more interesting in that regard. Heck yeah, I'm going to take 500 gold here. There we go. There we go. The court did something useful for us there. We got 500 gold. All right. I'm just about out of time for tonight. I'm going to have to hop off, but I'm trying to accomplish... I want to feel like I at least... look at this. The AI just comes out of the woodwork and surrounds my army over here.
We need a new plan.
This was terribly convenient for them to come up. And it's like all skirmisher units too, like the Phrygian skirmishers apparently. Oh, hopefully we can win it, or else this is gonna set me back another 10 or 15 turns. That's hilarious. Like I move my army, I can't see any enemy armies, yet my army happens to be within marching range of 2 enemy stacks. One that came from my own territory. Sorry, I'm pushing X to doubt here, right? It's like the meme, X for doubt. There's some doubt. Like I am not confident those armies were actually there, is what I'm saying. I think that these armies are appearing where it is convenient for them to appear. That is certainly what it feels like at the moment. That is an extraordinary convenience on the part of the AI to have had those armies there.
We are the blades of Hati.
All right. I'm gonna have to just try and run the enemy down here because they have javelins on top of javelins with more javelins and a side of javelins for dessert. So we are going to have to just run full stop and keep a lot of our units moving. If the AI even has just enough units though to fix enough of my infantry to allow them to start throwing their javelins, we're screwed.
As fast as we can. Ready for battle.
I'm gonna send these heavier units after the enemy commander, and then I'm gonna push
Never surrender.
more of these units after their javelins.
Sword. Leave them bloody.
Yeah, alright, just pursue, pursue, pursue.
Exactly perfect. Archers.
Archers. Let's actually pump all of our arrows into... I don't want the skirmish mode on.
Don't get excited. Arrows.
Push out around that. Let's come in here and crush these javelins real quick. Chase those. Alright, so the enemy reinforcements are coming. We need to mop up as much of this army as quickly as possible here.
Bloodshed awaits. Swords. Victory awaits.
Some of my units are relatively quick and have a good charge, so I'm hoping we can fix it. Yeah, we're crushing their commander really quickly, so I'm hoping that we can do that and then just end these fights relatively fast and then leave enough of our troops to just roll through the reinforcements. The reinforcements are going to actually have a few infantry units to deal with. Right, their commander's dead and fleeing. That is having a big impact on the rest of this army. Push up my archers now. See, like, the battle to me is a lot more fun out here when I have room to maneuver. I have a lot more fun with these battles because I feel like at least I have some room to move and do something here. Alright, the entire enemy army is already wavering because of, I'm sure, their fleeing comrades. Our commander ended up right up in the middle of battle and is going to be taking a hail of javelins. So I'm going to come pushing towards those javelins. Put those into fire at will. Let's move up here. We got to crush through this spear unit. We just got to break through over here. All right. Looks like we're going to wrap him up. Looks like we're going to wrap him up.
In Hati's name.
So I would say so far this game is a mixed bag for me. Mixed bag. It doesn't have me particularly excited. It doesn't have me extremely disappointed. It just kind of has me feeling like this is kind of just some more of the same in Total War at the moment. it's more of the same.
God preserve us! I wish you luck. You'll need it.
You don't intimidate me!
Alright. Alright, here we go. So we are chasing off javelins aplenty. These spears still haven't finished off those javelin throwers. This is a little bit surprising to me. But there they go. Alright, I would assume that the enemy is pretty well broken at this point. There's going to be a few of their heavier units holding out. I don't care if you're exhausted or not. Keep slaying until your sword arm won't move anymore. I'm actually going to pull my commander back out of this fight. I don't want to kill him with all this archer fire that's rolling into there. Because I am really pouring some archer fire into that fight. I feel like archers are too short of range on here. Like their range is not long enough to have good impact. That's another thing that I would change were it up to me. The slingers have good range and just pitiful damage. I don't really know that slingers and archers should have different ranges, in my opinion here. Just from a gameplay standpoint. But it would be cool for the slingers and archers to have a different damage, kind of like they did in the other one, like more armor piercing from slingers maybe, but higher non-armor piercing, you know, from the archers. Like, they don't, like, I don't feel a need to go towards slingers. Maybe there's better slinger units that I just haven't gotten to use yet that will be more appealing, but slinger units at the moment have better range and lower damage. The archers have higher damage, but their range feels too short to me to be truly effective. Wow, we're getting a lot of kills here, and that's good. We need to push these guys off with extreme losses, because otherwise they're just going to re-attack me on the next turn, so hopefully we're going to put these guys to the sword as they flee. Some of their units are faster than me, though, so I'm not going to be able to catch them all, but I'm going to try and kill as many as possible. Like this unit right here, still got a lot of entities left that we can eliminate prior to going into the next battle. Alright, there we go. Let's end this and see where that puts us. So at least we got a couple of victories out of the end of this, because it was a lot of real downslide there for a little bit. It was just nothing but downhill, it seemed like. Okay, I definitely need the replenishment because we're likely to fight these guys again. We picked up a good amount of food. We didn't pick up any bronze there, which is a little disappointing because I need bronze. Those armies were...
There is no limit to my glory.
I guess they weren't carrying any bronze with them. Alright, we failed our ambition. I didn't build a monument in time. I think I was building one right now, I just didn't do it soon enough. You all plots in the court, lose it. I don't care about plots in the court. Alright, let's retake our settlement here. So I guess the AI's armies that took this had pushed forward.
Attack the enemy!
Because the AI just doesn't know how to take advantage of a situation. They can take your small settlements, but they can't do much else. Alright.
Was with us.
Oh, it was fulfilled. My bad. We did fulfill it. My bad. I misread that. The ambition did get fulfilled.
Blooms from blood.
Yeah, praise the stoneworks. Legitimate builder. Okay, so we're gonna get a reduction in it. I just misread it. I apologize.
King of Hatti.
I'm probably a little high on salt at the moment. Alright. I love how I just broke a shin there or something too. That was pretty cool.
Press onwards.
Alright. I feel like we dealt our enemies some losses finally. We've been on the receiving side of most of the black eyes tonight, so it feels good to be dishing some out. I guess this is where I'm gonna have to leave it for now. So we spent the entire episode basically to end up where we started. Except one less settlement. So I spent the entire episode essentially to lose a settlement and have to rebuild multiple others. So not exactly the direction that I had hoped it would go, but it is the direction that it did go. And it's what we're going to have to deal with. This is cool that we can unlock these neater recruitments, but I can't afford any of those recruitments because we don't have the food. So there's no point, in my opinion, of unlocking them. There we go. I'm going to spend up some of those resources that we had to do some more building. That'll get me a little bit of my food back and a little bit of wood production. And if we take some more, we might be able to level it out. And then we've got this new settlement over here too that is producing food and can produce more food. So at least we can kick that food production up just a little bit. Anyway, hope you all enjoyed the stream, and those who are watching it afterwards, hope you enjoyed this. I will, if you're just watching this, I know there's a bunch of fluff at the beginning where the stream was starting. I will do my best to go back and edit that out, but thank you everybody. It was fun. We struggled through it. We made it to the end. We're still alive. Can't say it was easy. I don't know how much longer we'll be alive for, but I feel like, you know, maybe we've turned a corner a little bit on Phrygia. We just took down several of their armies, and I'm ready to invade them again. And they do have a bronze-producing settlement up here that I'm extremely interested in. So I might head up here and try and capture that bronze. If we can get a hold of that bronze, if we can get enough bronze production to upkeep a few decent units, we might be able to start cutting our ways through these guys. So I'll give that one a try. Anyway, HeirofCarthage signing out for this stream. I'll see you all soon with some more. Thank you so much for joining.